I don't believe Sunita or Drew are on this call. Andrew?
Here. Here.
There we go. Howard Lee?
Present.
Eswar?
Here.
Dick?
Yes.
And Dave Wilson?
Here.
Okay. I believe the first thing on our agenda is closed session.
Well, actually, Franco or Chair Votto, we have a request from Eshwar to attend the meeting virtually by AB 2449, and that requires board action. And so if I may lead the board through that so Eshwar can participate virtually under AB 2449.
Okay.
Thank you. So my understanding, Trustee Menon, is that you are seeking to attend the meeting virtually by AB 2449's emergency circumstance justification. And under the statute, emergency circumstance is statutorily defined as a physical or medical condition that prevents the member from attending in person. The trustee must give a general description of the quote unquote emergency circumstance as specified under the statute, but need not disclose any diagnosis or medical condition. And the board must take action to approve the virtual attendance for the stated emergency. So Trustee Menon, could you please state for the record what your emergency circumstance?
Right. So I've been traveling a lot and, I've come down with some, I guess something viral. So just trying to protect everybody else.
Thank you. Chair Votto, we will need a motion, a first and a second, or a motion to approve Trustee Menon's emergency circumstance as stated.
Can I get a motion? So I'll make the motion. Dick is going to second. I'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye. 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 And then we'll go to the remote people, which again is Eswar.
Do I get to vote on it also? Or?
Yes.
Yeah, I vote aye too.
This Eswar, right? Okay. Motion.
I'm sorry, I missed the first and the second on that.
I made the motion.
Okay.
And then the second was Dick.
Okay, thank you. Sorry. So since I'm participating remotely, if you could please state your name so I can catch that for the minutes later. Thank you.
Uh-huh. Okay, we're gonna move into closed session.
Thank you.
the open session. There's nothing to repetitive item, which is, I believe, 4C. This is obviously going to be a difficult item and conversation to deal with. We've decided that we will create an ad hoc committee to deal with the members affected, as well as how to move forward and deal with this. But to give an overview of it, I'm going to hand this over to our counsel, Maytak.
Is Maytak on the screen?
She may be coming out of the other room.
So for the public, this is our first meeting back in person after 3 years. So we are going through some technological issues. So I'm going to ask you to please bear with us, as you know, sometimes we slow down the meeting, but we're hoping that we catch up with it really quickly in the next couple of meetings, going back to in-person meetings. With that said, Mayta should be available any second.
Maytek, are you ready?
Does she need to be let back in to the main meeting?
Hello, is anybody there?
I heard you, Ray.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I'm here, Marcus.
Maytak, are you?
Can you hear me, Ray? This is Stu.
We're not hearing you.
Yes, we can hear you, and Ray, we can hear you as well, though I think your camera is covered,
Oh,
right?
thanks.
Oh, there is. Yes, she is.
Okay, I don't know if you heard Maytak, but we already kind of had that little overview, so we're turning it over to you.
What's this?
Will somebody talking?
It looks like the board is back
Okay, thanks.
in chambers, but they are on mute.
That's why they're just on mute right now. I think so.
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that, Michelle? Yeah, they're green.
Yeah, they're green.
We thank everyone for your patience. This is our first
All right,
hybrid,
what I can see is on our
in-person
screen,
meeting,
it
and
says
so,
muted.
it's
So
taking us a
my
little
computer
time.
screen says muted,
Oh,
and there,
yeah.
now it's not. Okay.
Thank you. Go ahead, Maytak. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. So before we begin, we need to do orders of the day, Chair Votto. And then Sunshine.
Yeah, and consent and everything else. Sorry about that.
Okay, I'm sorry, Maytak, but so is this nothing on? Do we have to waive Sunshine or?
We do have to waive Sunshine. There's a few attachments that need to be waived. I can identify this for you,
So-
but before we do have orders of the day. We will be hearing out of order item 4C, I believe, which is the item on discussion of San Jose Municipal Code, section 3.36.3660, disability retirement of participants and the impact of benefits on disability retirees with separate account alternative payees. That's going to be heard at 9:30. So do we have a first and a second motion to hear that out of order for orders of the day?
Dave Wilson, I'll make the motion.
We have motion, Dave Wilson, second by Santos. Call for the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Eswar?
Aye.
And then any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes.
Okay, and then we also have a few items that we need to waive sunshine on, and those are items 4C, attachments for 4C, 4D, and 4E. So you need a first and a second and a vote.
Motion to waive sunshine Gardner.
We have second by, our motion by Gardner, second by Santos. Calling for the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Eswar?
I vote aye. Aye.
Okay. Opposed? Hearing none.
Okay, and then we will go to item 4C. Back to you, Chair Votto.
Okay, 4C. Okay, this is going to be discussion on San Jose Municipal Code 3.36.3660, disability retirement to the participants and the impact of the benefit of disability retirees with separate account on the alternative payees. Oh, yeah, that sounds like I was muted. So we've had a discussion about this. The board has elected to create a ad hoc committee to address this issue because we know this is going to be very difficult for the members and the understanding of it because it involves some municipal code language as well as some tax code language, and clearly tax code language is not fun for most of us. So we will turn this over to Council Maytak.
Thank you. So just for clarification of the record, so today, as you'll notice on our agenda, we are here for a discussion with no action. And so for the board, we will need the chair or the board to provide direction to staff to organize a special meeting to form for the adoption of the ad hoc committee, because we are not able at this particular meeting to make that ad hoc committee, but we can hold a separate special meeting to create that formation of that committee. And so with that, before I go to my comments, may I get that direction from the board?
Does that have to be from a vote, or can that just be a direction from the chair?
It could be a direction from the chair.
Okay, then it's so moved.
Thank you. And then so just by way of background, I'm going to provide some preliminary remarks, and we would like to hear from the membership as well. It has come to the board and ORS's attention that ORS has not applied Municipal Code 3.36.3660 until last year, even though this provision has been on the books since 2000. This municipal code provision was enacted when the city enacted Part 17 of the municipal code, which created the separate account divorce relation order option. And so for those that may be familiar, there are two ways that a member with a divorce may elect to have their benefits allocated between them and their ex-spouse or ex-domestic partner, which is known as an alternative payee in the code. You can either have a combined account where both payments are coming out of the same account with the fund, or you may get a separate account, which is the member and their alternative payee will have separate accounts with the fund, and the alternative payee will receive their payments from their separate account with no communication or contact with the member's account. And so when the city enacted this provision, I'm going to show you a document that I'm going to share a document that we received from the city regarding the ordinance that was passed. And before I do, I need staff to please stop sharing their screen so I can share mine. Okay. So here is the municipal code at issue. As you'll see here, it relates to the recalculation of disability retirement benefits when the alternative payee comes into the picture. We'll go through the provisions piece by piece, and then I'll show you the city council memo So the subdivision A sets forth the purpose of of this municipal code, which is that the participant retiree and the alternative payee, i.e. the ex-spouse or ex-domestic partner, shall not exceed the total amount otherwise would be paid to the member alone. And then subdivision B sets forth all the requirements for the alternative payee for eligibility, meaning that the alternative payee cannot get paid their share of benefits until the member would have been eligible for service retirement. And once that occurs, the alternative payee may then apply to receive their portion under the separate account. And then once that occurs, the participant and member's benefits shall be recalculated as though it was the member retired for a service. Now, when this provision was adopted, you see here this is the ordinance memo that adopted part 17 of the municipal code, and you see here this is November 1999. And we have here, we'll scroll down to some of the background, and this is why the separate account was created in the first place. It says, quote, in response to concerns raised by members of the plan, the board formed a committee to work with the board's actuary and legal counsel to develop a method where the former spouse's payments could be made directly by the plan, even though the member continued employment. The city attorney's office has prepared the proposed ordinance to implement the committee's recommendation. Now, and then it goes into the separate section down here. The proposed ordinance would amend the police and fire department retirement plan to provide for a quote unquote separate account in those cases where the member has not retired as of the time of dissolution. And as you go into the further in the memo, it states that the proposed ordinance was circulated with the POA Local 230, the board's actuary, a family law specialist, a consultant that provides actuarial services in marital dissolutions, and the board's conflict counsel. Now, when looking at this memo in the legislative history, it is clear that the city council, when they passed this ordinance that enacted the provision at issue here, they did not run this by tax council. And so whether or not the city was aware of the tax implications, it's unclear to us. And it's also further unclear to us why the city council, the city attorney's office has written the statute the way they have. But for the record, the board is a plan administrator and not the designers. We must administer the plan as written. We don't know why the city designed the plan this way. We have invited the city to come address this issue with our membership, to come to this meeting today, but they have told us they were not available to come to this meeting. And so to assist the members, what we have done is to provide with our agenda see if I have it here, the frequently asked questions that we have posted to provide further guidance on it. So if you have further questions, please look at that attachment with this agenda item. And as the chair has stated, we are looking to host a special meeting to form an ad hoc committee and invite all the stakeholders to address any potential amendments to the plan, because as plan administrators, we must administer the plan as written to maintain our tax qualified status. And so with that, we have direction from the board to do that, and that is the action that we will take. With that, I turn that back over to the chair.
Okay, we'll open this up for public retiree general comments, not related to the specific agenda item. No.
We have a hand up from Stuart.
Oh, we're still on yet. I apologize. We'll go ahead and open this comment. Please, if you're on Zoom, raise your hand and I'll try and see you. If you are in person here, just go ahead.
Actually, Chair Bada, I apologize. I meant to turn this over to tax council to explain why we had taxable treatment, a change in taxable treatment. Apologies for that.
Okay, we'll hear tax council.
Good morning. So we can explain here a little bit of the background about why there ends up being a tax change. with the implementation of this provision that Maytech has described. Under the IRS rules, a service-connected disability benefit can receive non-taxable treatment. There are certain rules that need to be followed in order to get that non-taxable treatment. One of the rules is that the formula for the service-connected disability benefit cannot be based on the participant's age, years of service, or prior contributions to the plan. The basic underlying rationale for this is that looks like a service retirement benefit instead of a disability workers' compensation benefit. And regular service retirement benefits, of course, are taxable income. So you need to fit within the IRS rules for a service-connected disability benefit in order for it to receive the non-taxable treatment. The regular San Jose Police and Fire provisions for a service-connected disability retirement benefit do fall within these parameters with respect to the 50% of compensation portion of the benefit. That amount is treated as non-taxable. It's not based on the member's age, years of service, or prior contributions. The problem that arises is under this San Jose Municipal Code provision is that once the alternate payee comes in to make a benefit claim, the provisions of the code say that the benefit that is to be paid on a going forward basis to both individuals is to be recalculated based on the service retirement formula. And of course, the service retirement formula is going to be based on the member's age and length of service. So unfortunately, it's just purely the language that requires that benefit recalculation is what then triggers under the IRS rules the change in the tax treatment of the benefit.
And thank you. And so, you know, we issued a number of corrected 1099-Rs that took into account the municipal code, and we issued them for the open years that are available for correction, which are the last 3 reportable income tax years. And so the reason why we had to do that is that now that it has come to our attention that this code provision should have been applied to maintain the tax qualified status of the plan was obligated to issue those corrections and issue the corrected 1099-Rs to the affected members. And so I did want to note that, again, we are the plan administrators. We are required by law to issue those 1099-Rs, both under the IRS tax code and our plan document, which is the San Jose Municipal Code. And with that, I turn it back to the chair.
Okay, well, nothing else from council unless they're answering a question. We'll take questions. I think we already have someone with the hand raised. Stuart McGee. We can't hear you, Stuart. I don't know if you're still on mute.
I have a question. This is Omar Prieto, retiree, batch 3371.
Go ahead, Omar.
So, Maytech, thank you for addressing that very clearly. And I'm one of those that is being affected by this retirement thing that's going on. One of the things, I had this thing written out, but I mean, clearly, I think everybody understands what's happening. And one of the things is there's two things that I disagree with. The first one is that the participant won't be paid more than the plan intended to pay the participant alone. And when I'm under one of those where my ex-wife took a separate account approach. They took 16% of my retirement. It even showed on the website that I was at 32%, and I only had 16% accrued after the divorce. She had a separate account. They actually moved money from my account and put it into her account as if though she was an employee of the city of San Jose. I worked a couple of more years, like 5 more years after that, and I bumped myself back up to like 30%, and she had 16% separate. And then I retired on disability, and they bumped mine up to 50%. And now that I'm retired, I'm also being told that, yeah, you're at 50%. And I was told that would not be touched because I earned that after the divorce on my own, and she had a separate account already with money in her own account. Now I'm being told not only is this other thing happening that Maytag said, but also they're going to take her 16% from my 50%, which is supposed to be untouched, I was told. And that's also, in other words, that 3.36.3600 section A says that it will not pay, the amount will not paid more to the participant that it was meant to pay the participant. Means that if I had continued to work 36 years, it would never pay more than 90%. That's how I understand that. It's almost like it's left to interpretation as far as that goes. So I also want that to get addressed. And then, of course, the second part is, and that's even worse, is the part that Maytag says. So basically, if you have a police officer, and I'm just going to throw numbers out there, that works for 4 years and accrues 10%, gets divorced, he gets 5%, ex-wife gets 5%. Next week, he steps out of his car and gets shot. Then he collects 50%. But when his wife collects that measly 5%, now he's only going to get paid for 5% of years of service, and he's going to get taxed on it. The 50% is gone. The disability retirement's gone. I mean, I get emotional because thank you for hearing me.
Thank you, Mr. Prita. We will take into account the question that you've raised with subdivision A with the city and the bargaining units. The board does sympathize with all those affected members on this, and we will work with the unions and all stakeholders, including the Retiree Association and hopefully the city, to address this issue.
Okay, Ray, I see your hand up. Go ahead.
I thought Stu McGehee was going to go first, but that's fine.
Well, my computer blew up. I'm back now.
Oh, let Stu go first. I'll wait. Go ahead, Stu.
Go ahead, Stu.
Sorry, folks. My computer just blew up and restarted. You got to love technology, I guess. Well, first off, I want to say that we all in this group, we've all been talking, and we understand it's not the fault of the retirement board. And we particularly appreciate Dick Santos and Andrew Garnier for getting involved in the hopes of finding a resolution to this issue. And I also want to recognize Ray for his work with and the Retiree Association for their efforts in trying to help us resolve this issue. I've got a couple of points I'd like to bring to the board's attention. First off, this matter is very time sensitive. April 15th is 6 weeks away. I heard you talk about an ad hoc committee, but you have to have a separate committee meeting to develop an ad hoc committee. While some of us in California have been given time extensions for our taxes, there's folks in this group that are outside the state, and they have an April 15th hard date to address this in terms of their tax obligations. The application of this particular section of the Muni Code, section 3.36.360, is discriminatory in that it treats one group of retirees differently than another group of retirees that didn't create separate accounts. So that's disparate treatment. And I'm not sure that the city attorney was aware of that when this was created. The city advised me that had I had my retirement funds, had they remained in a single account with a monthly deduction for my former spouse, that my disability retirement would have remained intact. So I need you to understand this has devastating financial impacts to the people that are identified here. the potential cost of applying this section, the way that it's been done by the city, it's got the potential of costing members up to $100,000 to $200,000 in additional taxes, interest, and penalties. And we're not just numbers. There's retirees in here up to the age of 78 that they're not going to be able to recover from this financial impact. And I think it's important to know the group of retirees that have been identified and had their finances adjusted by the city did nothing wrong. And we all move forward with our lives based on a contractual agreement that we had with the city regarding our disability retirements. This is the city's error. It's not the members' error. We've all based our tax withholdings and our lives and our finances based on that contractual agreement that we had with the city. And when I asked, the city couldn't tell me what the intent of the Muni Code section was, or when it was even created. And I also had that memo that was shown here that was created in 1999. And it requests the ability to create a separate account option so a former spouse could begin drawing funds while a member is still working. That makes sense, and I understand it. But it appears from this memo, the intent of this modification to the Muni Code was not to remove the disability retirement status of the members that had their funds separated. So finally, the only other thing I want to say is the members that are affected in this group, and this group is going to grow. It's already grown again from the initial group of 11. But we were not able to make an informed decision when separate funds were created because the city didn't advise anyone of the potential consequences of a quadro versus a sadro. So again, without being able to make an informed decision, I think the city needs to take that into consideration, plus the devastating financial consequences of this, plus the fact that based on that memo, it doesn't look like that's what the intent of this was. This may be a misinterpretation of that Muni Code section. I'm not sure, but it's definitely discriminating against one group of retirees versus another group, just because they have a separate fund versus having a deduction off of one fund. So that's really all I have to say. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but thank you for your time.
Thank you, Stuart. And I don't think there's anyone up here that doesn't agree that this is punitive for people that have a divorce and a disability retirement. That's why as Maytac mentioned, the bargaining units will all get together in a meet and confer and figure out how to solve this problem. Ray?
Yes, a few things to point out. I've talked to Retirement Services, Sandra, a couple things that you may not be aware of. They are only dealing with the people that are disabled right now and have a divorce. They have not looked into as of yet, and they're trying to, how many other people have sadros in their system. That would be coming up later. Also, it's only police and fire so far that's been affected. And I find that hard to believe that there isn't other divorced members in the federated unions and whatnot that would have this problem. I just don't quite capture that. I would urge you to have this separate meeting to get the ad hoc committee going ASAP. We need to jump on this fast. The people that we're talking about are very upset. I'm worried about their mental health. If you thought of this yourself, any of you up there on the board that have been retired or aren't, also be hit with this 20, 30 years later, not expecting it, how would you feel and what would that do to your finances? I've been fielding calls from these people. They're scared, and I don't blame them. So we need to jump on this ASAP. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Ray. This is obviously a priority for us, so we will be on that as soon as we can to get that committee up and running. Sorry, this technology is a little different than mine at home. Do I have anyone else? Oops, what did I just hit? Anyone else in person or on the phone that would like to speak? Okay, not hearing any other members. Board discussion, so comments from the board?
Yes, Mr. Chair, Richard Santos. Yeah, I want to thank Stu McGehee and Ray Storms, of course, and Walt Boonia for all participating in an orderly manner and giving the board an opportunity to try to address these issues. Of course, I appreciate our legal advice and with our chair to form this ad hoc committee. I'm assuming that we talked that time will be dealt with immediately. At the same time, help me recall, will the IRS give those individuals the time that would be needed without any further penalties?
ATAC, I think that was for you or tax counsel.
That's for tax counsel. I'm not a tax attorney, so I would defer to Ms. Harrison and Mr. Goss.
This is Rob Goss from Ice Miller. The likely implication of receiving a corrected 1099-R, and it's my understanding that there have been about 10 members that have already received corrected 1099-Rs for several years, past years, which we refer to as the open years. That once that corrected 1099-R is submitted to the IRS, that will trigger the IRS to issue a recalculation of the members' tax filing for the applicable year that would also include interest and penalty assessment.
Okay, any other comments from members? Okay, we have a city council. Go ahead.
Mind if I ask a couple of questions? So this is really confusing. So this, just to understand the issue, this affects employees who were receiving disability income, who have, or who are on disability and who are divorced. And the ex-spouse is receiving separate checks or separate accounts payments. I'm curious, one of the members who called, Omar, said that this doesn't affect individual if there's a one payment, but if there's two, it does. Why is that?
So there's three different types in a divorce that you could take. You can take a cash lump sum, a combined account, or a separate account. This only applies to the separate account. Correct me if I'm wrong, Roberto.
You're correct. So when
That's correct.
Yeah, I apologize, council member. Once you make that decision and you're divorced, you have two options. You can create a separate account, or you can make a payment on your own account. Usually you create a separate account if you're an active member and you're going to continue working, but you want the ex-spouse to start receiving their benefit. If you go the route of the just one account, that member, that alternate payee, cannot receive a benefit until the member actually retires. So I think that was sort of the overriding factor why this code section was created, to provide for that separate account. And only those members that have the separate account are the one impacted by this code section.
So
I think another factor in that, which is why they did this, is, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe if you have a joint account, if the actual member passes, the benefit stops.
Right. Okay, that makes sense. So I'm just trying to get a handle on the scope of the issue. So two separate checks are being issued. The tax consequence will affect both of them, or just the spouse?
No,
Just the employee?
Correct. So the alternative payees benefit is always taxable because that benefit is not being paid out in the nature of workers' comp. But the members benefit up until the point the alternative payee comes into the picture for those with a service-connected disability are tax exempt. However, once the alternative payee becomes eligible and applies, so it's only when the alternative payee comes for their portion of the benefit to get in pay status, does the statute require a recalculation using a service retirement formula. So up until that point, the member gets a tax exempt status for 50% of their final average salary up to that amount, and anything that paid in excess would be taxable. Once the alternative payee comes into the picture, then the benefit gets recalculated with the service retirement formula pursuant to subdivision B2. And because of that, then loses the taxable treatment of the benefit at that point forward.
Okay, so I'm actually trying to understand the scope of the financial obligation to the individual receiving the additional tax bill. Can you give me an idea of, first, I've heard the number 11. There's 11 employees that this affects so far, and I understand that that's could be a growing number. I do, to Ray Storm's point, curious about Federated because there are employees there who also were on disability and might have the same consequences. So I'm just trying to understand, so the IRS, can we go back, can the 1099-R, we only go back for 3 years, even though this may have been going on for 10 years, as an example. But the employee isn't taxed for the 10 years, it's only a maximum of 3 years. Is that IRS code that they can only go back 3 years?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. And do we have an idea of what kind of, just generally, I know we don't have probably any specifics, what the tax consequence is to an individual? Like, how much is this increasing my tax? What kind of a tax bill am I going to get from the IRS?
Council member, it will be hard for us to speculate about that issue because individual tax issues vary by individual, right? So we have no concept of what can possibly be the tax implications other than to say they're sizable.
Yeah, okay.
That they're large. And also wanted to let you know, I know you have some questions and we'll try to answer them, but I just want you to know, staff and myself are also available when you and your office have time so we can expand and provide more data and detailed information so that next time we have this discussion, you'll be better prepared. I apologize upfront. This really has been obviously very challenging and for the last few days, and we didn't get a chance, to reach out to you to give you some of the background. So that's on me, and I apologize for that.
No worries. I appreciate that, and I appreciate Andrew actually giving me a heads up as to the issue, so I was able to read the memo and read the background and everything. But it is a complicated issue because it's a legal issue, it's a policy issue, and it's a tax issue, and I'm on the city ordinance policy side, but the tax consequence is complicated. I'm just trying to get a handle and understand that. And I understand that will change depending on the employee, but the fact that they're going to get a big tax bill, I'm concerned about that. And maybe we can talk about what sort of a fix we can create from a policy level going forward. That's my role here as the council representative. So I guess that answers my question. I didn't understand how big of a scope it was. It could be big, depending on as people start reporting that as they start getting their tax bills from the IRS. And I don't mean to make light of it. The taxes and the interest and penalties could be huge. So I think we need to figure out how we can go forward. on this.
Yeah, and keep,
That's a very good
And I look
point.
forward to working with you on
just
that.
keep in mind too, the tax liabilities is to each individual is different because of not only whatever their withholdings are, but it also is their rank and their pay.
Understand? Yeah, thank you.
I do wanted to also mention there are originally 11 members were impacted, but there are really 20 members impacted. And someone asked the question, I think it was Ray, and we have also looked at the federal side, and at this point, we have looked at the data, just like we are fairly confident that the population for the police and fire is the right number. We're still doing some more work with the data to confirm that. We have done the same work with the federated, and we just haven't found anyone to be impacted at this point. There are different situations in terms of the disability approval and everything else, and the numbers of service connected on the federal side, so that may be a huge part of it. But at this point, we haven't found any federated member impacted by this situation. So I just wanted to make that comment. Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Okay, any other comments from the board? Andrew?
I got a quick question for staff. So out of the 20 people that we have identified so far, does that include the population of members who are retired, granted a disability, but their alternative payee hasn't started collecting yet?
It does not.
It does not. Is that something you guys are working on now, trying to identify?
Yeah.
Okay. And in regards to every single month, disability committees hearing new cases, what are we doing at Retirement Services in regards to communicating to soon-to-be retirees or soon people that are going to be filing or in the process or in the queue, let's say, of the disability, to communicate these newfound provisions of the Muni Code?
Yeah, we're updating our documentation so as it's part of their packet when they do either a disability application or on the other side if they're applying for a domestic relation order.
Okay. Is there a way for us to put out some type of communications, in which you guys could distribute and POA, Local 230s could distribute, just bringing everybody's attention to this, because there might be a set of populated people that are either A, going through a divorce now, and they might want to take that in consideration, and two, or might be on the verge of going out on disability, so they know of this ahead of time. So is there a way we could communicate this, in the near future?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, there is. And I could also put some information in our newsletter that's due to go out in April.
Yeah, I think, your newsletter will be great. That's quarterly. I think if we could communicate in as many different forms as possible, I think that would be great. So utilize, the unions to disseminate this information along with the newsletter, and just so we could try and target as many people as possible with this information.
Okay.
Thanks.
Anyone else from the board?
Yeah, I have a question maybe for Roberto or staff. With respect to any other inconsistencies with the code, has that been looked at, or we believe that this might be the only time something else might come up?
Good question. In fact, and I'll ask Maytag to comment. There have been some issues that have been brought forward over the past year or two to the board, where we, as the board, has actually directed staff to reach to the city to let them know about inconsistencies. So we have done so in those situations, and we haven't done an exhaustive review to see what else is inconsistent. As issue comes up, we certainly reach out to the city and let them know. So it's a long way of telling you, borderline is we don't plan to continue looking at the city code let the city know where there might be inconsistencies. But as issues come up, we do work with them to let them know. And all we can do is to provide the city the comments by our members and the board. Then the city is left to decide how they like to proceed. At this point, I think have been maybe 2 or 3 occasions on different issues, and I'm not sure that anything has changed at this point. Not to say that the city is not working on it. I can't really speak to that because I don't know. But when issues come up, we do inform the city of inconsistency. Maytag, I don't know if you have
Yeah,
any
I
further
can weigh in
comments
on
that.
this.
Yeah.
Sure. So, there, like Roberto has mentioned, there are a number of provisions in the Muni Code that we have raised with the city regarding either amendments or changes that the board believes are necessary for our administration. One of them being the Medicare mandate issue, as you may recall, felony forfeiture issues. And, last meeting we had an issue about retirement spousal elections for optional settlements. So we had a very hard and fast deadline of 30 days, which, if you take an extended honeymoon, you might miss that deadline. And so we've written to the city on numerous occasions for requests for changes on those code provisions. And, at the end of the day, where the rubber really hits the road is a lot of these muni code provisions are subject to collective bargaining. We are only the plan administrator, so we can only recommend changes. But to really get a change across, we need the stakeholders, the unions in particular, to help drive us on those changes, because they will affect their membership from a collective bargaining perspective. And so, while we can make recommendations to the city, we really need to get all stakeholders involved to really make those changes that happen.
All right, well, thank you.
Anyone else from the board? Ray, I don't know if you just left your hand up or if you have another comment.
Yeah, I do have another comment. I was reading through the frequently asked questions, and they said this was discovered just prior to the 31st of this past year. It was my understanding that this actually happened in the summertime. And if that's the case, why did it take so long to notify these members about this? And why was the decision made at that juncture, where these members that are being affected could have some knowledge and take some action, and not being rushed like we are right now? I'd like that question answered, please.
Sure, and I can weigh in on that. So we discovered the municipal code provision at the time that member Omar Prito had come forward with his alternative payee came in for their share of their benefits. And so that's when we first got this issue on our radar. We weren't really fully advised of the tax consequences of that recalculation, because initially we just thought it was a recalculation issue. But once we got tax counsel involved, we realized it was a tax issue. And then from there, we had to go through the data, which is extensive, to figure out who the effective members were and issue our corrected 1099-Rs. So, it's a long way of saying it took a long time for us to get through the process, and we were moving as quickly as we could. So that's the answer to that question.
And one other question that's come to mind. If you went out on a disability, you had sick leave payout. If you're over X amount of hours in sick leave payout, you had to pay that back if you went out on disability. Okay. So if this is a change and this change is going to stay, those people should be refunded the money they paid back. Does that make sense? Do you understand what I'm saying?
I don't understand right now, because I don't understand that payback or option that you're mentioning, but this is an issue that we will take note of and we can address further at the ad hoc committee, because this code provision also will interplay with a number of other code provisions, for example, survivorship benefits and whatnot. So we want to make sure whatever changes we make to the code as recommendations with all stakeholders, and tax council and the city council as well, that we or city liaison, to really make sure we understand what the ripple effect of any changes would be, because we don't want to be here 5 years later to realize what changes we recommended had other implications that were unintended.
Maytac, this is Franco. Just to, I think, clarify what he was explaining is if you take a service retirement with a pending application for disability, you'll get a full sick time payout. But there's a provision in I think it's in our MOA that says you can only get to a certain amount, and then you would owe that money back if you're approved on a disability application. But that's in our MOA.
Okay, we can certainly look at that as a part of our ad hoc committee.
Any other questions from the board? Anyone from here in person? Okay, hearing none, I think we'll move on. I think I got to read this. Okay. God, I wish they didn't put it in blue. At this time, members of the public may comment on items not included on the agenda, provided that the matter is within the subject matter jurisdiction of the board. Members of the public who wish to provide comment at this time may do so by raising your hand in the Zoom app, or if joining by telephone, by pressing 9 on your telephone keypad. When addressing the board, press 6 to unmute. Please state your name for the record prior to providing your comments. Speakers will be limited to 3 minutes. In addition, public comment on the items listed on this agenda will be taken at the time the item is addressed. I apologize for that reading, but this is in a light blue and it's hard to see. Okay, I think the next thing we have is the consent calendar.
Actually, Chair Bowden, I'm sorry. I forgot to mention coming out of closed session that there is no reportable action.
Yeah, I think I did mention that, but we were muted over on this side, but yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so I have a motion from Dick.
Second, Wilson.
Okay. Call for the vote. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Ezwar?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Motion carries. All right, I think our first thing up is investments.
Yes. Or of the Prabu is not here, so it's
Great.
going to be quiet.
Okay. Jay, I think that's you. Probably not here.
I am actually attending by Zoom.
Oh. I apologize, Prabhu. I thought that given the time difference, you were not in attendance. So my apologies to you. Good to hear your voice.
Oh, see, you just popped up.
No worries. So Jay is fully capable of actually answering all questions. So nothing against him. And he will get a chance to speak today as well. So thank you, Mr. Chairman. So we do have a fairly full investment agenda. And starting with performance, fourth quarter performance overview, we'll start with Casey Boyer on the private markets, and then turn it over to Laura and Jared for the pension plan. And then we will also talk about pre-funding. We will defer the asset allocation discussion to April at the request of the investment committee. And that meeting just happened a couple of days ago. And so we didn't have time. We don't have time to incorporate feedback from the IC. So we will take that up. That's item 2F, I believe. We will take that up in April. With that brief intro, actually, I do have some preliminary performance information. As of 2/28/23, the pension plan has returned 3% fiscal year to date, and healthcare trust is at about 3.9%. And these are numbers provided by Makita. With that, I'm happy to take any questions. And if there are no questions, I'll turn it over to Casey Boyer of Neuberger Berman.
And hear any questions? So Casey, are you on? Can't see everybody on this call.
Yes. Can you all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, perfect. I think I had double muted myself. So I will share my screen just 1 second so you can see the presentation. So today I'm going to present the Q3 portfolio update for your private equity portfolio. And I'll mainly stay on page 2 here, just to give a really good summary of more high-level information, but happy to go into details if anybody would like on more of the portfolio underlying investments. So as a reminder, we have been investing out of this program now, the strategic partnership with Neuberger Berman, for almost 6 years. In May, it will be the full 6 years. The police and fire have a little over 400 million that has been committed over that time period. And so we are continually, along with staff, making and looking annually at what commitments need to be and trying to maintain a very consistent pattern to make sure we are reaching target NAV in this portfolio. So at this point, if we're looking here at page 2, as a reminder, we are investing into 3 types of investments: primary fund investments, secondary investments, and co-investments. Co-investments being investments directly into companies alongside our GPs. And so we do that pretty consistently with allocations each year. Looking in the middle column, you'll see the statistics for the NB program. On the left is the legacy investments that were completed before 2017. And then on the right, you'll see the combined performance. I would say from our standpoint, very happy with where we are today. We have a net multiple of 1.8 times with a net IRR of 25.8%. Distributions are continuing to come back, which we are, of course, then returning to your team. To date, that has been 44.2 million. As I mentioned, we are continuing to commit, and if you kind of think about how that works in terms of the performance, for Q3, the performance did go down slightly. Some of that was overall market conditions and just the fact that public markets and private markets were down slightly. Some of that's also the fact that since we are continuing to invest, those new investments are held at cost. And so that can kind of average down some of the early generating performance that has been brought to this portfolio. So overall, as I said, net multiple of 1.8 times and a net IRR of 25.8% for Q3. Q4, we have gotten some early reads. It's still very early. As you know, Q4 is the quarter that takes a little bit longer because it's all audited, and so it comes through a little bit slower than previous quarters. But for Q4, as a Neuberger platform, not for San Jose portfolio specifically, but from our platform, we've seen about 20% of our valuations come in. Most of those have been from large cap managers and also non-US funds. So if you're just looking at that small group within our platform, the buyout funds were kind of consistently flat, maybe up a couple percent, and then venture funds were down about 8 to 9%. So it's a very small sample size, but I guess, overall, we're thinking that for Q4 performance would be close to par or a little bit down when we're just kind of looking at a broader spectrum. The only other page, some of the pages in between kind of touch on some of the underlying investments. I'm going to go quickly to the summary and just kind of go through a little bit more of the performance. So at the top, we have primaries and secondaries broken out. You can see the gross performance of each. And then at the bottom, we have the net performance and the benchmarking of the total portfolio against a peer comparison. For Q3, we were second quartile for IRR and TVPI. So I'm going to take a pause there and see if there's any other questions.
Hi, Casey. This is Howard. Thank you for the update and presentation. It would help me, and maybe it would help other people. You had mentioned, Q3 was down slightly prior to the prior quarter. Is there a way you can include that comparison in the data, either on slide 2 or on that summary slide at the end, the comparison quarter on quarter? Because sometimes it's hard for me to tell, how things are going because we just see this snapshot without any perspective.
Yeah, that would be easy to do. We will make sure to include that for next quarter.
Great, thank you.
If I could ask a question, Franco. Sishwar. So Casey, on page 5, the first investment, I'm trying to see why the IRR is first quartile and the MOIC is fourth. I mean, what would explain that?
Yeah, so there could be many different things that explain that. This investment specifically, we invested in the fund after it had already made a few investments and had already kind of been generating some performance. And so I think what you're seeing here a little bit is somewhat due to timing. So your IRR is going to be a little bit higher simply because the length of the investment period is shorter. But I think also it's very, when we're benchmarking, we don't really have a clear idea of what is in the benchmark and all the underlying data that goes into that benchmark. So some of it is we're trying to pick the absolute best benchmark for each investment while not knowing exactly what's underlying. But I do agree with you, that is not typical. And we double checked that many times just to ensure our numbers were correct, and that was in fact correct. So I can't give you a super clear answer other than a little bit of unknown from the benchmark and if our timing of investment is affecting the IRR a little bit.
I mean, is it possible that we've invested after first close and therefore we're not maybe entitled to, I guess some of the performance, but the IRR actually measures the fund's performance and not specifically our performance?
So these IRRs here are specific to San Jose.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions on that? If not, continue on.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Casey. We will now take up item 2C, and I'll turn this over to Jared and Laura.
Good morning, everyone. It's nice to see you all in person for the first time in a few years. I'm going to try to both share my screen and be on Zoom, and I hope everybody on Zoom can hear me okay. All right. Let me see here. So this is actually 3 reports today. I'll begin with the private markets, which is not playing nice with my Zoom in terms of opening. Here we go. Okay, so in terms of your overall private markets program, you can see the individual asset classes in private markets on page 1 here. Can everyone see the screen okay? We have the legacy private equity, which, as you know, was started a long time ago and wasn't always committed consistently, but it's still on the far right. If you take a look at the internal rates of return in the second column from the right, that's your fund's performance for each individual private markets asset class. And then on the far right is a public markets equivalent. So if you had put the same amounts of money into a sort of commensurate public markets index and taken out the same amounts of money when you received distributions from public markets, you would have had the return in the far right. You did have the return in the column next to the far right, which you can see was a good thing because all of those actual returns are higher than what you would have earned over those same time periods in the public markets. So the Neuberger Berman Fund of One significantly outperforming the public markets equivalent, private debt, real estate, real assets, and venture capital all outperforming if the cash flows had been put in or taken out of the public markets at the same time. Starting out in the individual asset class summaries, if we take a look at the private debt program, you can see it has an internal rate of return of 6.4% and an overall allocation within your total plan of 4.3%. There were 2 new commitments during the quarter that we're looking at, Eagle Point 2 and HPS Opportunities. They were each $21 million, and you can see contributions and distributions from the program at the bottom. As a reminder, private markets asset classes, you commit to a fund, and then they decide when they want to call your capital, and they also, when they have an exit or whatnot, they then distribute it back to you. So over time, it sort of becomes a self-funding program. We have all the individual funds in the private debt program on page 5. And again, you can see an internal rate of return in the second column from the right that is your internal rate of return. And in the far right column, a peer universe internal rate of return for points of comparison. You can see that in particular, the funds that have been committed under your current staff since about 2017 have performed quite well relative to peers. You can see the vintage year of each fund on the left next to the fund name. And more here. And when you see an NM, that means that the performance is not yet meaningful. Because you commit for a period of time and your capital is locked up for several years, if it's a fund that was just committed to last year or the year before that, they don't yet have a meaningful return for private markets. We also have diversification information in this report. You can see here percentage of the fair market value, the percentage of the total exposure, by vintage year and geographic focus. So in private markets, you want to continually commit each vintage year to build your program because you never know in advance exactly what the next vintage year is going to bring in terms of performance. So vintage year diversification is very important, and your staff has achieved that. The next program here is the Real Assets Program. So this is natural resources and infrastructure funds. You can see that the internal rate of return for your program is 13.5%. And that the current allocation is about half of the policy target. So you all are still committing to get up to the policy target here using that concept of vintage year diversification. There was 1 new commitment during the quarter that we're looking at, Kimmeridge Energy Fund 6 with $16 million. And if we take a look at the individual funds here, you can see it's still, being at half your total allocation, a relatively immature program, first commitments made in 2016, ramping up more in the last few years. But if you take a look, in particular, we've had some outsized returns from Kimmeridge Energy 5, a 41.1% internal rate of return relative to less than 15 for the peer group. And again, that's the fund that you just made a new commitment to their most recent vintage year this quarter that we're looking at. The real estate program starts on page 13. You can see it has about a 4.5% weight in your total portfolio and an internal rate of return of 13.5%. There were 2 new commitments during the quarter that we're looking at, 1 fund at $14 million and 1 at $17 million. And you can take a look at the individual returns on pages 16 and 17. Again, especially in recent years with the current staff that you have now, if we look at about 2017 forward, I think every fund except for 1 is outperforming its peer median handily. A PISO 5 is a European fund, so there's been some negative currency effects for that fund given the strength of the US dollar. The last program I talk about is the newest program in your private markets portfolio, which is venture capital. It does have a good internal rate of return so far of 9.3%. There's a target of 4% in your total plan, but there's only less than 1% of assets allocated so far because this is a new program, as you know. There were 3 new commitments made during the quarter we're looking at in the amounts of $5, $10, and $3 million. And you can see the individual vintage year and individual fund performance here on page 22. We don't have meaningful data for most of these funds given how new they are, that they've been committed within the last few years, but the couple that we do are in the double digits so far. We have a lot of other information in this report. About half of it is market information on private equity, global fundraising, and other information, but I will leave you to read that at your leisure should you choose, and I'm happy to take any questions on private markets before I move into the total fund.
Any questions? Hearing none.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chairman. We will stay with Laura and Makita and for item 2D, plan performance for fourth quarter.
Great, just trying to figure out how to get my Zoom out of the way to open these reports. Here we go. Okay, so for the total fund report, I will start with a really brief backdrop on the market environment since it's been a little while, since December 31st. So if we look at how the market as a whole performed in the fourth quarter of 2022, you can see the index returns for the fourth quarter on the left and the full 2022 calendar year on the right. 2022 was not a good year in the markets, as I think we all know. We saw the S&P 500 down over 18% for the year. We saw non-US stocks down as well. And the big story, I think, was that investment grade bonds didn't provide a place to hide. You know, historically, I think a lot of people have thought that they might have a diversified portfolio when they have equity and bonds. Bonds were down 13%. They had the worst year that they've had since the index was created. So the funds that we work with that haven't had diversification in terms of private markets and hedge funds and cash really had a very rough time. Luckily, your fund is very diversified, so you'll see that it looks relatively strong for the calendar year. If we look at the fourth quarter, things did tend to reverse. And so if you take a look on the left side, non-US stocks are that top orange bar, up 17% for the fourth quarter. A big story was that China did not do well in the first 9 months of the year. China did better once they reopened in the fourth quarter. And you can see that emerging markets were up almost 10%. China is a big portion of that emerging markets index return. So what's interesting to me, though, is that even though we had those really strong returns on the left, those are baked in on the right. So the returns on the right would have been even worse if we hadn't had the fourth quarter recovery there. As with private markets, we have a lot of other information on the market environment, which in the interest of time, I won't go through right now, but I'll skip to, as you know, you have a watch list, which we include here every quarter. It's on page 24. We note if there's any team changes, organizational changes, performance concerns on this slide. And you know, if anything ever rises to the level of we think you should terminate a strategy because of the watch list, you will definitely hear about it from us. If we take a look at overall asset allocation on page 29, you can see the total fund asset allocation, the current allocations. Then you have an overlay that gets you closer to the current allocations when you're not quite there, and the policy allocations on the far right. So the total fund market value is $4.5 billion as of the end of December. We estimate that it's up further. I know that your CIO mentioned the returns this year thus far. So far in 2023, a 60-40 global equity, global bond portfolio would have returned about 2.3%. We estimate that your fund has returned closer to 3% thus far this year. So that fiscal year return is now higher than what we're looking at on this slide. But you saw a quite strong fourth quarter relative to the year as a whole, with the total fund up 4.4%. You can see that that was not super strong for the quarter in terms of the peer group, but if we do look at the one-year return, quite close to a top quartile peer group return. The fund was down 9%. As I just mentioned, equities were down 18%, bonds were down 13%. So in order to be down 9, you had to have a lot of asset classes that did better than global equities and investment grade bonds, which you did. So if we take a look at growth for 2022 as a whole was down 13.3%. That includes public equity, international and emerging, and also private markets. So you can see private markets about halfway down, page 31. Private markets were down negative 1.7%, so protected quite a bit relative to public equities and to bonds. There probably is a little bit further to go in terms of private markets falling a bit more because their valuations are lagged. So we will see what happens long term, but we don't expect it to be as negative as public markets, even once some additional valuations come in. Growth real estate was a really bright spot for the year. You can see private debt as well. Towards the bottom of the page, private debt was up almost 6%, growth real estate up 17.7%, and private real assets up 13.6. So again, in a market environment where you had such negative returns for all public markets asset classes, private markets were quite protective. You also had some diversification within public markets. In particular, emerging markets debt was up 1.1%. So these are bonds issued by emerging economies. You have an emerging markets debt fund that is long short, so they can short or bet on markets going down, which ended up being quite a good thing during 2022. And then low beta was really a bright spot as well, up 3.3% and outperforming its benchmark for the 1-year period. Market neutral strategies here is hedge funds. There are some hedge funds in your portfolio that are designed to do well when we have an equity market fall. And so those kind of sit there in strong equity markets, but then really protect you quite a bit in a down equity market like 2022. Relative value as well here, up 23.6%. These are hedge funds for the 1-year period. And you can see that we're finally getting some returns from cash. Cash for the year was up 1.4%. And again, core real estate did quite well. We have all the individual manager returns as well, but in the interest of time, I'm going to focus just on the asset classes and some overall metrics. So you can see that for the 4th quarter of 2022, the net cash outflows that went out of the plan were over 60 million. You can see at the bottom in the net cash flow column, you made almost $200 million in investment gains in the 4th quarter of 2022. We have attribution for different time periods. If we look at performance attribution for 3 years, you can see that almost all of these bars are on the right side of the line, which is what you want, which means that your plan added value relative to their overall benchmark, both from the way that the assets were allocated into different buckets and also in terms of individual managers that were hired and how they outperformed. I will look at page 59 here. So for the 1-year period, what this shows me on the left is that your return for the 1 year was close to top quartile of the peer group. Your standard deviation in the second column, which is a measure of volatility or risk, was below the peer group. So your volatility was 10.6, the peer median was 10.9, and that leads to a risk-adjusted return in the third column that was top quartile. So you've out-earned the peer group, and then you're under the risk of the peer group, and so the risk-adjusted return looks quite good. And you see that same story now for 3 years as well with a top quartile risk-adjusted return. So I'm happy to answer any questions on total pension performance before I get into healthcare.
Any questions? Andrew? No? Yeah, Howard.
Yeah, just a question. First, thanks a lot, Laura. That was a good presentation. I just want to understand the market neutral strategy a little bit more. It seems like that's a standout. On a lot of charts, I didn't get a chance to really dive into the nitty-gritty detail as to what's driving it. Maybe you can enlighten us as to what's driving that performance and
Definitely.
what you think about the consistency of the performance going forward for that bucket.
Great, yes. So on page 45, you can see the individual funds that are in the relative value market neutral strategies allocations. So you can see Pine River, D.E. Shaw, Hudson Bay, and Crable, and their individual returns. So Crable in particular is a CTA manager. CTAs did incredibly well during the year. We at Makita call these type of hedge funds risk mitigating strategies. So a lot of the funds we work with, like California State Teachers or the Orange County Employees Retirement System, have they call this bucket risk mitigating strategies, and this is really designed to diversify when markets go down. So there's funds that capitalize on higher volatility. They fall in these type of buckets. D.E. Shaw is another sort of global macro hedge fund that can go anywhere, and also had some protective assets. But also your investment officer who focuses on these strategies is here as well. If you wanted to add any commentary.
I think that about covered it. But if you had any specific questions, I can answer it.
That's enough. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Sure.
I was wondering if we go back to slide 55.
55.
It's the last one you ended on. Or what? Sorry, I was on the wrong slide.
Did you want
60?
Yes.
60. I just want to point out and recognize about 5 years ago, around 2017, 2018, all these numbers were in the 95th percentile. Okay. So over the last 5 years, there has been a dramatic shift in the performance of the plan, and we have to recognize, Prabhu and his team for all the hard work that they've been doing. And as you can see, at the 3-year, we're looking, top quartile in every single category. If you look at the 5-year, it's either first quartile or second quartile. So I want to thank everybody, Prabhu and your team, everybody, Jay. Thank you for all the hard work you guys have done, and I recognize the dramatic improvement, and it affects everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Gardenier. Helps to be surrounded by smart people.
Anyone else? No? Okay, I think we're on E.
Okay. So your healthcare trust has the same market information, so I'll skip right to the fund on page 27. So the healthcare trust balance is much smaller than the pension at $275.8 million as of the end of December, with the current allocation quite close to policy. And as you know, the goal of this fund is to stay quite liquid. So you don't have all the private markets asset classes and hedge funds in this portfolio. The closest you get to some illiquidity is core real estate, which is about quarterly or 6 months that you could get your money back. So this portfolio doesn't invest in some of the long lockup types of funds. And as we've discussed in the past, this healthcare trust is a bit riskier than some of the peers in this health and welfare $250 million to $1 billion peer group. A lot of health and welfare funds have a much lower expected return relative to their sort of sister pension fund. This fund in the past had sort of a same actuarial target return as the pension. That has decoupled a little bit, and now we target something slightly lower. But what that means is in really upmarket environments, this fund looks phenomenal relative to its peers, and you can see that in the fourth quarter that it was in the top decile. Beat out 93% of other health and welfare funds. We do see the opposite in down market environments because you have more, I would say, equity than a lot of the peer group funds here, just given what we're targeting for the actuarial assumed rate of return. So you can see that the 1-year return was down 10.7% and right in line with the peer group. This fund is mostly passively managed in low-cost index funds. So you can see that in U.S. equity, international equity, emerging markets, you have index funds in all of those areas. So the performance, as we would expect, just about matches the benchmark. You have Northern Trust core bonds in this fund. And then, as I mentioned, core real estate is really the main diversifying asset class, as well as commodities, which are at the bottom. Commodities have been strong lately when we've had strong inflation and high prices for oil and gas and other commodities. So a strong quarter for the healthcare trust. That concludes my prepared comments. I'm happy to take any questions.
Any questions? Okay. So we're going to F, which is discussing.
That's deferred to next.
Oh, is it?
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I apologize.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yeah. So we did request deferral of this to April. We had our IC meeting just 2 days ago on Tuesday, and the IC has asked for additional information. So we will bring this item back to the board in April.
Okay. So we'll defer that and go to G, which is discussion and action regarding the pre-funding of the city's retirement contributions.
Thank you. And I'm going to invite Senior Investment Officer Jay Kwan to address this agenda item.
All right, good morning. So this is an item that was heard at the investment committee meeting a couple days ago, and the staff recommendation was taken up and to approve the staff's recommendation and send it to the full board here. Those of you who've served for a while might remember that this is the time of year where the city chooses their payment schedule in terms of sponsor contributions. And it's a little bit of a convoluted process, but the municipal code gives the city the option to decide whether to pre-fund their annual or pre-fund their sponsor contribution, at the beginning of the year versus paying throughout the year in line with payroll. And so the city has that choice, but you as the board have the choice to decide, are able to determine the discount rate you give the city for paying upfront versus making those payments throughout the year. And so the municipal code states that the choice of discount rate just needs to be actuarially equivalent to the discount rate for the assumed rate for the plan. So as a board, you adopted a methodology last year that based that discount rate on 3 factors, and this was a staff recommendation. One of the factors was how long has the economy been expanding. The second was the market returns since the last equity market trough. And third, the trigger we adopted last year was some valuation metric for the market. And so just a half a step back, the overall concern was that if you just were kind of rubber stamped giving the city the full discount rate every year, the city might be in a position to kind of arbitrage market conditions at that point and say, hey, we'll take that 6 5/8 when market returns are vastly different. And so these triggers were adopted to kind of adjust the discount offered to the city for market conditions at the time. We're in a position this year where none of the triggers are activated. And so the methodology recommends that we give the city the full standard discount. And just to let you know, the finance department did notify us that they would like to pre-fund Tier 1 and OPEB at the beginning of the year for police and fire. So this is a practice that they've taken up in the past few years, actually, pretty consistently. I think that's it in terms of prepared comments. Do you have any questions?
Questions? Okay, so this is discussion and action.
Sorry, so the actual recommendation here would be to offer to the city the full discount in line with our current methodology. And again, they've already indicated that they would like to pre-fund.
Okay. We have a recommendation from staff. We have a motion. Motion Santos.
I'll second it, Detroit.
And I'm sorry, was that a second from Eshwar?
Yes.
Okay, any discussion?
Yes, can I ask if we could please state what the full discount rate is currently, just for the record?
Sure, it's 6 5/8, and the actual discount would be given, it comes out roughly to about half of that. It's a financial math calculation. Waving my hands in the air.
Did you get that, council?
I think 6.58, right?
The 6 5/8 is actually the discount rate, and what the maximum savings or discount that we provide the city and recommended by staff, it comes out to about half of that, just about. It's a mathematical equation that Jay have in his head, but will be hard to share through a presentation right now. But it's just
That's
about
okay.
half of 6 5/8.
That's okay. I can get that figure from him for the minutes. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Did I get that right, Jay?
Spot on as always.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, I'll call for the vote. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Eshwar?
I would. Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion passes. All right, moving on. We don't have any old business, so we'll go to new business. So 4A, oral update from Roberto.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So just a couple of things, you bear with me. The first one is going to be, no one is happier in this meeting this morning than Linda Alexander. Linda, unbeknown to you, has been feeling really, really sad that she wasn't going to get a chance to say goodbye to all of you in person. And I said, don't worry about it, I can change that. And so here we are this morning. Linda is actually retiring at the end of this month. But she is so happy at ORS that she told us she's willing to work 30 days and come back and do some work for us as a retiree if we need to. So we'll probably take her on that offer. And I just want you all to know that Linda will be retiring on March 30th, assuming the federal board does approve her retirement application request at the next meeting. And so I just wanted to take time and allow you to make comments if you want to, and thank Linda. Linda came to the office about a month and a half before I did. We spent 10 years working together, the last 3 remotely, and she cannot be any more sad. She couldn't wait to see me when I come in the morning, and she's smiling right now. And she asked me, she wanted to be right outside my office so she could see me at all times. So I did agree to do that, but no, seriously now, it's been a great journey. Huge support and loyal, and I will miss you dearly, and I will wish you the best and a very long and healthy retirement, Linda. So thank you so much for 10 wonderful years. Much appreciated. So if anyone has any comments from staff or board, this is the time.
Would like to, I'll start by saying thank you for your service and the wonderful job you've done. And retirement is not horrible. I also really appreciate, your willingness to come back and help out with the transition. Anybody else?
Yeah, thank you, Linda. I know Linda and her husband, Tony, from another part of Work and Labor Supporters. We sure appreciate all those volunteer times that you've done all the good things for labor of Santa Clara County and our nation. But again, the best to you, and I hope your health is fine and everything works out. And thank you for your service.
I don't know if, Linda, do you have any comments for us besides a nice smile? You don't have to. If you don't have any comments, you don't have to make any comments. That will be quite fine. I will take your lunch, but other than that, you don't have to say anything. But if you do want to, you can go ahead.
Oh, it's on. I just want to thank you, Roberto. It's been fun 10 years. And I want to thank the board. It's been nice working with you all.
I thought I read it. I left a few more notes for you to read about me, but
I would actually also like to add that I've worked alongside Linda, and we're actually losing our editor of our newsletter. She has been, she works really diligently on each edition. But her successor is right here, Michelle San Miguel. So she'll be working with the newsletter going forward, and probably Zella too. But yeah, Linda will be very missed.
Linda, I want to say thank you for your time. You were always on the other end of a lot of my emails, and you helped me out tremendously over the years, and I appreciate it. And I also know that Roberta wouldn't be able to function properly without you, so So thank you for your time and enjoy your retirement.
Yeah, and I'd like to echo the words. So Linda, you've been absolutely very helpful in terms of everything we do. You respond to all our emails, and it just makes our job as trustees much easier. Thank you.
So with that, I do have a few other comments. As Linda is leaving us, I do want to make two comments. The first one is, you are all aware the first couple of months have been challenging, to say the least, not just for the office, but specifically administration. We have people out on unfortunate family matters, and also you probably all remember that one of the staff specialists that work in that group also retired in October, Marty Sarate. So it's been a difficult journey, and I just want to publicly also thank Michelle San Miguel for really stepping up and being very helpful and helping Linda lead that group. It's been a struggle and it's been a challenge. And so I want to publicly thank again Michelle for the work that she has done these past few months, where we have been down a couple of times to just one or two individuals in that area, giving us support for the committee meetings and the board meetings, whether they are remotely or in person. So thank you, Michelle, much appreciated. I also want to, as Linda is leaving us, I want to introduce to you, I was going to say the new Linda, but her name is Isela, so it's just a different Linda, Isela Chaparro. Welcome. I wanted to introduce Isela. You saw her this morning working with you. Isela joined us a few weeks ago. I am so excited to have Isela on board. She came to us with a lengthy experience at the city level. And I have to tell you, outstanding recommendations for the people that I spoke to in her prior experience working with all the directors. And her last boss was former Mayor Liccardo. And if she can work for Mayor Liccardo, certainly I'm sure that we can work together. So Isela, welcome to the Office of Retirement Services. Look forward to working with you. And this is the Police and Fire Board. They are actually a lot nicer. You have to give them time. This is just the first meeting back in person. But no, kidding aside, congratulations. I'm excited working with you. So I don't know if you have any comments that you want to share, or any kind of, I don't know if you want to share more about your background.
Just wanted to say happy to be here, and I look forward to working with you all. Yeah.
Great. Lastly, I just wanted to let you know that eligible police and fire retirees will receive the annual Medicare Part B reimbursement letter. The information is due to ORS by April 1st. All that information is due to us by April 1st so that the staff can actually cut a check and provide I call it a refund, a rebate, whatever the information is a dollar figure that goes back to the police and fire members. So the information, did it go out already or is it going out? I see a yes, but
Yes, the letter has gone out.
Has gone out, thank you. And lastly, we are going to be observing Cesar Chavez Day on Friday, March 31st, so the office will be closed. And I want to remind you, the joint meeting with the City Council hasn't been officially scheduled yet, because again, I think it goes to the Rules Committee. It's going to go on March 8th, I believe. But it's scheduled for March 30th. March 30th is in person. It's a Thursday from 1:30 to 4:30. It's actually going to be at the room that usually this board meets, which is the wing rooms, room 118 to 120. Again, it's a joint meeting of you Police and Fire Board with your Federated Board and the City Council. Again, Thursday, March 30th from 1:30 to 4:30. The agenda is being developed as we speak. I know we have two items. Many of you know, and if you don't know, we have a huge turnover at the city council level, and we have about 6 or 7 new council members. So we feel it was pertinent to provide some basic and introductory information to the group. Some of this information has already been received by council members that have some experience, obviously, like Councilmember Foley, but right now we are considering providing some information, sort of introduction to the asset allocation for the plans. And the other introduction is what we call Actuarial 101, which is about the work that the actuary does, the evaluation, the assumptions, and how contributions are determined. So that concludes my comments, Mr. Chair. I'm happy to answer any question. Thank you.
Have any questions? Hearing none, we'll move on. I think it's the oral update from Council Liaison.
Is it afternoon yet or still morning? Still morning. First, I want to congratulate Linda on her retirement and wish you well in the next chapter of your life. My husband started his retirement yesterday. He announced to me that he did nothing all day, and he was very happy about that. So I hope you take time to enjoy yourself and take care of yourself. And congratulations on being able to do that. I'm looking forward to the joint meeting, and I'm glad to hear we have a date, or we will be when it comes to rules next week. I sit on rules, so I'm sure we won't have problems with the date. I know it's difficult to get both boards on the same page and schedule that many people for one meeting. And it's true, we have 6 new council members that are not as familiar with the retirement funds and what the retirement boards do. So having a joint meeting will be really invaluable to them, particularly since we're heading into budget session. That's shortly after the budget, or the mayor releases his budget message, and it will be important for the council to understand the impact of unfunded liabilities on the general fund, so they can understand what kind of flexibility we actually have in the general fund dollars we have to spend. You all know we're back in person today, although I went to the old wing room, and much bigger meeting over there than here. So this is where we have our council meeting, obviously. It's an adjustment for everyone to be back in person, because you have to plan that travel time that you're not used to planning, especially when you have to hit rush hour when you're really not used to that. We are heading into budget session. As I said, we just finished priorities. The mayor created 5 new transition teams this year, of which I co-chaired the homeless task force. And they've actually, all of those items, what was heard last Tuesday, any recommendations will go forward to the mayor, and the mayor will consider what he wants to include in his budget message. But that's just the beginning. The mayor makes his budget message, then we debate and discuss, city manager makes her message, and we come out with hopefully a unanimous approval on a budget at the end. But that won't happen until June. With that, I don't have anything else to report other than I'm glad to be back in person and see all your faces in person, and here to take any questions if you have any.
Do we have any questions? Okay, hearing none. We've already discussed item 4C, but just as a reminder, they need to still maybe on that there is a frequently asked question document associated with that item. And we're at 11:18. Why don't we go ahead and take a break until 11:25? go ahead and get started. So we are on item 4D, which is discussion and action.
Are we recording, Michelle? Thank you.
Discussion and action regarding approval to increase the fiscal year 22-23 administrative budget for professional services by $200,000 to a total of $998,000.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. So, as it turns out, if you look at your agenda and you see item 4E, right, that is the discussion and action on the proposed administrative budget for next fiscal year. I'm only saying that because last fiscal year, when we presented the proposed budget for the current fiscal year, which is the one dealing with item D, what we usually do is we look at the experience of the last so many years in different areas. Personnel is pretty straightforward. We know the positions, so how many are going to be approved, and we have information from the city. But in terms of consultants, we just look at prior experience, and based on that, we average out, we reach out to consultants, find out what are the projects for the year, and we provide a number. Well, as it turns out, there were a couple of issues that impact this request for an additional $200,000, and they are mostly related to legal. Hopefully, you had a chance to go in and see the actual attachments. And in terms of the legal counsel, there are a couple I can think of, but the most critical one was we did not envision having to deal with felony forfeitures. And you remember felony forfeitures, that those discussions that have been happening. In fact, you have the second one discussion at your meeting next month. So that actually increased the cost associated with the legal services considerably. And we have other issues, to name the few, like the Medicare issue that we didn't anticipate, and of course, the current issue that you're dealing with. So our request to adjust the current year budget by $200,000 is probably a little more than we think the total invoice is going to come down to. But I asked staff to leave some flexibility so that we don't have to come to you, board, to request for further funds in the event that the invoices come a little higher than anticipated. That does not mean if the invoices come lower than anticipated, we won't use the funds, but I don't want to be in a situation to have to come back to you, board, in May or June because we missed it by $2,500. Again, the main issue is legal issues. There's also, because we have been working on many projects, there's also, we ended up spending more funds on temporary services positions. That's a combination of a lot of projects that I've been working on, and also the situation that we had not been able to fill the positions that have been vacant. So when that happens, we rely on temporary services. But those are the two main reasons for the request of the increase. That actually concludes my explanation. I would recommend approval as the next item that will be presented to you. Those assume that this request is approved, and I'm obviously happy to answer any questions. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, waiting for public comment, I'll make a motion to support this.
We have a motion, Santos. Second?
Second, Gardner.
Second, Gardner. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none, call for the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Ashwar?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Well, Roberto, we'll move on to next year's then.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So I don't know if Benji is joining us through Zoom. I guess she is, or someone is. Someone is driving this. Is that you, Benji? No.
It is me. Sorry, I was trying to look for my mute button.
Okay. All right. All right. And so, thank you. So, if you look at the agenda, there are 3 items. You may recall, and this is more for those of you trustees fairly new to the board the last year or two, there was an audit by the city auditor of our operations. And one of the findings had to do with the budget process. And the bottom line was that there was a discrepancy between the amount of data that was provided to your boards for the budget presentation and approval and the one that actually made it to the city council. And so they requested that our office produce a document that was consistent among both, meaning both boards and the city council. So I'm only saying that because when you look at this agenda item, there are 3 documents, and those 3 documents that come to your board are the stacked documents that we sent to the city budget office and the exact documents that actually go to the city council. So I just wanted to get that out of the way so that's understood. The second one is that as part of that audit, the city auditor, and this is an actual audit recommendation that is still outstanding from their audit, requested that our administrative budget included the costs associated with investment expenses. We as in the office staff and both of you boards, based on your general counsel legal analysis, were not able to meet that particular audit recommendation for many reasons, 2 of which I can think of quickly is number 1 is the state retirement laws usually indicates that investment earnings are the ones that are used to pay for investment expenses. They're not really part of a particular budget. In my experience, as I've been working in other offices, investment expenses have never been part of the administrative budget. And when I say investment expenses, I'm mostly referring to manager fees. The second one is clearly we do not know what the market is going to be in the upcoming fiscal year. So there is no way I can actually estimate how much in manager fees we're going to request your board to pay managers, right? And the best example I can give you is if you go back and you look at the return of police and fire for the fiscal year 21 versus 22, 21 was close to 30% positive and 22 was a 5% negative. I don't have to tell you that the difference in managers' fees is going to be considerable on those returns. And so with that, we were never able to agree that manager fees are included as part of the budget. However, we understood the basic premise of the recommendation was transparency. And I do want to say that I'm proud to say of 2 things. As part of this budget document, staff takes the time to provide an estimate of what those manager fees may be in the coming year, assuming that the asset allocation returns the assumed real return. So first we have to look at the actual asset allocation and then assume that we're going to return 6 5/8. And based on that, and with some caveats, we provide some estimates. In addition to that, every September, every August, investment staff produces a comprehensive investment fee report that is calendar year basis. They come before your boards in August for presentation, and then the CIO goes in front of the city council in September and makes that presentation as well. My only point here is that we wholeheartedly agree with the city auditor and the city on transparency on these issues and have taken steps to remedy that audit recommendation by providing first the estimates in the budget process and the actual comprehensive fee reports every September. So with that, let me jump into the presentation. Any questions thus far? So with that, I don't have it. Benji, you okay? So let me just go back to my full screen. Okay. So at a glance, again, I just went over this information about the development of the budget, the administrative expenses breakdown. Those documents include sources of funds and uses of funds. The sources of the funds, obviously, are your city contributions and investment income, and obviously the participant contributions as well. Those are the sources that comes to the fund, and we use those funds to do two things. Mostly to pay benefits and health insurance, which is actually a sizable amount, and then also to pay the administrative expense of the office. If you go to the next slide, Benji, just a reminder, the presentation of the budget is actually divided in 4 main buckets. Those buckets are personnel services, which are by far the largest number of your administrative budget. And then we do have a bucket of non-personnel equipment, professional services, which is the one that you approve for the current fiscal year budget increase, and then lastly, the medical services. As a reminder for the personnel services, we basically use a 50% split for the Office of Retirement Services in terms of the budget office labor reports, except that for the investment staff specifically, we split that on basically the market value among both plans, which is actually tilts somewhere between 60% for police and fire and 40% for federated. So for the rest of the office, it's a 50-50 split for personnel costs, but the personnel costs associated with investment staff goes 60% to the police and fire, 40% to federated. The non-personnel equipment is just the administrative overhead costs. That includes rent, supplies, equipment, and exclude professional services because professional services is actually included as its own bucket. And that's basically, legal, actuarial, IT, and accounting, and other services as needed. And lastly, the medical services associated with the work regarding disability process. We can go to the next slide. By the way, as I go through this presentation, if you have any questions, feel free to stop me. This is just a graph to show you actual and forecast and proposed sources of funds over the last 4 years. And this, as you can see, for the proposed 2023-24, again, that investment income, please do not take that we are going to be making close to $270 million in income. That just assumed based on the current asset allocation and the assumed rate of return of 6 5/8. Based on the asset allocation, if we do retain 6 5/8, we will produce about $269 million in investment income. And the budget also, based on the actual evaluations that you approved from Chiron for the 2023 year, we expect about $45.64 million in participant contributions and about $230 million in contributions by the city. Same for the uses of funds. We have the last 4 years, actual numbers forecast for the year ending on June 30th and the proposed for the coming year, 23-24. You can see the administrative expenses, the smallest amount at $6.8 million. Health insurance, $25.7 million, but the bulk of it is actually pension benefits, is about $283 million. Oh, that's good. So the next item, Benji, is actually the proposed budget. So in a nutshell, you saw I mentioned the proposed budget is about $6.8 million. And that is comprised of about $4.8 million of personnel services and $859,000 on non-personnel equipment, $903,000 for professional services, and $270,000 for medical services. If you look at the total requested of $6.8 million, that is about 8.6% increase from the forecast of the current year. We are forecasting the current year budget ending on June 30th to be about $6.36 million. When you go to the next column that reads the adopted and modified, your board just approved an increase of 200,000. That's what you see, a 6.326 million, which is the adopted budget last year. And then the 6.526 is the modified budget, which you just approved in the prior item. So the next slides are actually a detailed information on these numbers. In terms of personnel services, right now we have a forecast of 43 positions. This personnel number assumes a proposed 45 positions. We are requesting an additional 2 positions for the benefit section. I did have a conversation with the mayor's office. As you know, the mayor's office just took over a few months ago, so we are sort of working through the process. I need to go back to confirm with the mayor's office that they are in support of this request. I had not done that today. I don't foresee any problems as I haven't heard from them, but we are proposing to you this morning an amount that assumes that those 2 positions will be authorized. It will increase our positions from 43 to 45 positions for the office. And again, because we split this half and half with both Federated and Police and Fire, comes out to about a 22 and a half full-time employee allocated to each plan. If we can go to the next slide, Benji. This is just showing you the proposed org chart for the coming fiscal year 23-24. And I'm just kind of looking here, Sandra, if you can help me on the benefits section. The two, if you look on the left-hand side is investments, in the middle is the benefits division, thank you. And on the right-hand side is the accounting division. So if you look under the benefits division, towards the middle, the larger column or the longer column, those are the 2 proposed positions there. One is a office specialist, and it's hard for me to read the descriptions of the positions here. One is a senior officer specialist, and the other one is a regular office specialist. Did I get that right, Sandra?
Actually, I think the plan is we have right now at the front desk 1 office specialist. We would like to upgrade that position to a senior office specialist and then add a second senior office specialist. So we have 2 staff up there to support the front desk.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And so we actually provided the mayor's office with information on this and the background on why we are requesting this. By far, the benefits division, they have to deal with all our members on both sides, not just active police and fire, but active federated and retirees. I think, and this is kudos to Sandra, when she joined us, obviously she looked at the operations with fresh eyes, and what was understood that we were understaffed. So last year we added 3 new positions, and we're asking for 2 more for this current year. Any question so far about the personnel? All right, if we can go to the next slide. This is actually the explanation for the non-personnel equipment. You adopted last year $795,000. We're asking for a little more this year of $859,000. That's about an 8% increase. And that increase is mostly an increase in IT budget for new financial reporting system for $10,000. As you saw in the personnel, we're asking for 2 new positions. We require that we reconfigure the cubicles in the office to accommodate further desks for new staff, so that's $15,000. All the others are really related to CPI increases on other areas, which includes actually rent and everything else. So the rest of the increase is related to CPI increases on the contracts that we have. Did I explain that correctly, Benji?
Yes, that's correct. And then the detail is on the following page.
Thank you. So Benji, for those of you that don't remember, Benji is our accounting manager. She works diligently on producing the budget documents based on discussions with senior staff and obviously the rest of the different divisions in the office. And so this is actually the detail of what makes the non-personal equipment. The largest of that, which you heard about it this morning, is the fiduciary and commercial liability insurance and the rent. That's the rent for the location that we have at our offices, the 6th and the 5th floor. IT and hardware and software is $130,000, and so on and so forth. They add up to $859,000. This is pretty straightforward from every year. This is the same minor budget categories that we have included. We do have some training and travel of $30,000. I don't know if that number, I know we have kept it about $30,000 for the last couple of years, and obviously because of COVID, we have had much less travel, but I expect that we will get closer to that number this year now that staff and trustees are traveling a little more to various conferences and roundtable. So if we can go to the next slide.
Roberto, sorry, one
Yes.
question. Just
Sure.
to clarify, there is a 19% change on the non-personnel. Is that because the original forecast from 2022
Correct.
was revised?
So I usually refer to the increase or decrease and the change to the adopted, but you're correct. The close to 20% difference is our forecast for the requested for the current year is about 718,000. So when you compare the proposed to the forecast, that's what leads to the $20,000, to the 20% difference. Because of the explanation that we just provided, including the CPI contracts, we are sticking with the $859,000 number. I'm not sure if Benji have any other further explanations. Benji, can you comment on the question as well?
It's, our forecast is based on what we have expense for the 6 months. So it's, and we usually just double that amount. So if there's something else that, we have planned that we have not received the invoice for, it might not be included in that. So that could account for the difference. So, there's some projects that we had accounted for. I believe part of the, I think the phone, I'm not sure if it's there were some projects in IT, I think that we had included in the last year's budget that we have not been either invoiced for or have not completed, just like the phone upgrade project.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Benji, can we go to the next slide, please? And the next slide, there you go. So the next one is professional services. This is actually the bucket that you actually modified this year. That's why you see the adopted 798,000 and that's the adopted, and the modified is 998,000. That's a $200,000 difference. The forecast is about 958,000. Again, I did ask staff for a buffer because I do not want to have to come back to you, board, in the event that we get closer to the $998,000. But you can see how when we compare the proposed 903,000 to the adopted or modified is when we compare it to the adopted, it's about a 13% increase. When we compare it to the modified, it's about a almost 10% decrease. And of course, when we compare it to the forecast, it is about a 6% decrease from the current year. Again, the rationale behind that is that there have been some work associated with this current year that it caused us to request the increase, that once they're completed, we don't expect them to be repeated, so that's why that number is lower. If we can go to the next slide, that actually provides you the detail of what makes the $900,000 in professional services. The bulk of that number is legal, and when I say legal, it's mostly your general / fiduciary counsel for Reed Smith, but it also includes Ice Miller, which is your tax counsel, and Saltzman and Johnson is actually your disability council, and that accounts for $312,000. Your actuary, and that's Chiron, which is you have 4 annual evaluations a year, actually 2 for police and fire and 2 for federated. This is only the police and fire amount. And they do further work on benefit calculations, 415, limit matters, and other issues. That comes to $290,000. You audit, which is the financial audit agreement, about $85,000. And we actually are going to be coming before you probably the next month. You may recall that the last financial audit completed by our financial auditor was the last one they have in their contract, Grant Thornton, which means that we have to go out for audit services, and we should be completing that audit, that request for proposal shortly, so that we can send it out, share it with you, and hopefully come before you board with the recommendation for an auditor before the fiscal year is over, so that they can actually be in place to perform the annual financial audit. So the $85,000 is probably closer to what we have paid in the past, and so that's what the number is coming from. There are other professional services that we work with. I can think the one that I can think the most are 2 of them. Government services, that's Cortex, and obviously the communications consultant, that's about $60,000. Temporary agencies, this is when we have temporary staff, it has been mostly to fill vacant positions, but we also use them with the health open enrollment, and so that's $132,000. And the pension administration goal, system pensions goal for the web changes, $24,000. That adds up to about $950,000. And lastly, the 4 main bucket is medical services. That actually remained flat compared to prior year. And this is the cost associated with the medical services provided for the disability applications. You may recall that we are no longer using a board medical advisor, and we are going to be contracting directly with independent medical advisors for the disability applications. And that number, again, remains flat from the prior year of $270,000. If you can go to the next slide. So in addition to the actual budget request that we put forward, this is something that we instituted early on when I joined your board about 10 years ago. And the goal in here is it's all well and good that we sit here and introduce and put forward a request for a budget, but we want to make sure that you have some data that allows you to compare our request with our peer plans across the state. And this is what we use this data for. And so, for example, this particular one is strictly personnel services, right? So I'm gonna say this that I say every year when we provide this information. Obviously, as you can see, the Police and Fire Board is usually happy and federated is not. And so one of the issues here is that we are, as far as I know, the only office in the state that actually you have one office for 2 plans and 2 boards. For example, when you go to LA City, they have about 2 or 3 different plans. But each plan have their own board, and each plan have their own office staff. And in my prior experience, when I work in other plans, there was one plan for both general members and safety members and one office. San Jose is completely different than anybody else in that there are 2 plans, there are 2 boards, but it share the same office staff. And that is actually, that actually impacts some of the costs associated with this. Now, this one in particular, the reason we provide the combined number is sort of to take away a little bit from the difference between federated and police and fire, because as you can imagine, except for the investment staff, on personal services, which is split on 60-40 based on the asset base, every cost on both plans we split 50-50. And it does a disservice to federated and a service to police and fire, because police and fire has a higher asset base and federated has a lower asset base. So when you look at the combined, you can see the actual for 21-22 was 10 basis points, and the actual for 2021 was 8 basis points. And that is more in line with the public pension plans assets between $5 and $10 billion, so 8 and 8. You actually, as a police and fire alone, you are within that, but the federated is not. Now, I will also argue that given our size, personnel expenses is impacted by two main reasons. Number one, we are in the Bay Area, so we are going to look higher than most of our peers in other areas of the state because of the costs associated with the Bay Area. But number two, and I think Trustee Godonier mentioned before, I'm very proud of the work by the investment staff. They do outstanding work. But you should know that all the systems at this level have a much smaller or even just a 1 or 2 staff, and they make a decision to rely heavily on the investment consultant. That was a strategic decision that was made by these boards before I joined and after I joined, that they wanted to build from within and build investment staff, and so that's what they have done. I'm only saying that because obviously that is also impacted these numbers, because we do have an investment staff that is larger than most of our peers. On the other hand, to the extent that that investment staff actually is doing their work and is impacted the returns, that more than make up for the associated costs with having a larger investment staff. If we can go to the next slide, this is just for personal services. The next slide is personal services, but instead of basis points, actual dollar figures. I won't go through the same explanation other than to show this is, again, dollar figures. And again, this number, they seem a little higher again, but I think I actually provided the explanation. We do have a larger investment staff than some of our peers at our level size, and also it's impacted by the fact that we are in the Bay Area. For example, my experience having to come in here, before I came here, I was in the Central Valley, and I can tell you categorically that the salaries and benefits that we pay in the Bay Area are considerably higher than what are paid at the Central Valley. So that's also impacted with these numbers. We have the same information in the next 2 slides, but not just for the personal expense, but the administrative cost comparison. Same concept. We provide one for federated, police, and the combined, and compared to the peers across the state. And so I'm just going to concentrate on the 21-22 years, which is the last one that we have for actuals. 15 basis points for combined San Jose plans versus 13 basis points for asset side. Interesting here, you can see that at the asset sides go higher, the basis points go lower, and that's because, first of all, economies of scale, but also your asset base gets higher, and you still have the same costs associated with the plan. So that's why, as you have a larger asset base, the basis points becomes a little lower. But hopefully, what you get out of this concept here, this is the same information. If we go to the next slide, we have the same information, but in terms of basis points, dollar figures. And what I'm hoping you get out of this is that when you compare our requests for the plans and for the office with our peers across the state, I'm hoping that you come to the same conclusion that I come to, which is that we are within our peers, sure, a little higher, but I explained some of that reasoning behind it. And the whole goal here is just to give you a sense that the numbers in general are actually in line with the ones with our peers across the state, except for perhaps this last screen which actually, you know, I can see the close to $12 million for the combined San Jose plans for 21-22 is about, you know, some 40% or 33% higher than the public pension plans dollar figures for asset base between 5 and 10 billion. But again, part of that is associated with doing business in the Bay Area, and these plans are all over the state. Sure, it does include our plans in peers in the Bay Area, but it also includes in other parts of the state. That, Mr. Chair, concludes my presentation of the budget. Myself and staff are here this morning to address any questions that you may have on the budget. With that, I would recommend you board to approve the budget as requested. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, motion to approve.
And a motion by Santos. Second.
Second, Trustee Lee.
Second by Howard. Okay, any discussion? Hearing none, call for the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Aneshwar.
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
Mr. Chair, before we go to the next item, I know, I don't know if Trustee Menon received the email from Council Chin on
I did.
maybe you want to, yeah, and there was a statement that needed to be made, so I don't know if that would be Maytack or Trustee
Yeah.
Menon.
I'll, if I could, Chair Bardo, so I guess as part of the AB 2449 procedure, I'd like to verify that no one over the age of 18 is in the room with me for this meeting.
Okay.
See, Maytack is making sure that we stay legal, right, Maytack?
Well, I had forgotten about that requirement. Barbara reminded me, so thank you, Barbara.
Okay. I think that brings us to item 5, which is retirements. So we have Stephen A. Foreman, Battalion Chief, Fire Department, effective January 23rd, 2023, with 26.48 years of service. Gregory A. Lombardo, Police Captain, Police Department, effective March 18th, 2023, with 28.19 years of service. And Abraham Ruth, Police Officer, Police Department, effective March 18th, 2023, 26.53 years of service. I have a motion.
Motion to approve, Santos.
Motion Santos.
Second, Gardner.
Second Gardner. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call for the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Eshwar?
Aye.
And no one opposed? Okay. Moving on to death and survivorship notifications. This is always difficult to see any names on here, let alone this list, unfortunately, is way too long, but we'll read these off and then have a moment of silence. Notification of the death of Dennis G. Anderson, Fire Captain, retired December 16th, 1985, died January 25th, 2023. Survivor benefits to Helen Anderson, spouse. Notification of the death of James Christensen, Fire Captain, retired August 5th, 2000, died December 10th, 2022. No survivorship benefits. Notification of the death of John W. Ernest, Fire Engineer, retired May 21st, 1996, died February 8th, 2023. Survivorship benefits to Janice F. Ernest, spouse. Notification of the death of Michael Gilligan, okay. Firefighter, retired January 7th, 1993, died January 24, 2023. Did I say 2023 both times? Okay, sorry. January 7th, 1993. Died January 24th, 2023. No survivorship benefits. Notification of the death of Jerry L. Harrell, Fire Engineer, retired July 9th, 1998. Died January 14, 2023. No survivorship benefits. Notification of the death of Billy Key, Police Officer, retired March 3rd, 1983, died January 2nd, 2023, no survivorship benefits. Notification of the death of Marcel LaSalle, fire engineer, retired January 7th, 1990, died December 6th, 2022. Survivorship benefits to Nadine LaSalle, spouse. I'll have a moment of silence. Okay. Anyone want to make any comments?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Go ahead.
As you said, Mr. Chair, it's very difficult. I worked with every one of these gentlemen and wish their families the best and thank them for their service.
Okay. Anybody else? Moving on. See, we have item number 7, minutes, reports, and recommendations. So, investment committee.
Right. Thank you, Franco. So we did have a meeting a few days ago. Discussed strategic asset allocation. And as Prabhu mentioned, we did ask staff to go in and get us some more information. So no decision was made. And we have to accept, I guess, the minutes of the special meeting from January 5th.
We will receive and file the minutes. Let's see, on your next meeting's April 25th, 2023. Okay. Update from the chair of the, oh, I'm sorry. Which one am I on? Investment? Audit.
Mr. Chair. So your audit chair is Trustee Ganapati, and obviously she is absent today, but I can share with your board that you see all the items in there. It was a lively discussion. Whenever we have an audit committee after the federal board, they always last about 90 minutes. And that's because of two things. Both committees from both boards are really, really engaged, but also because of the work provided and associated with the work that our senior auditor does. And I apologize. I think, are you attending by Zoom, Human? Is Human on the meeting by Zoom, staff? I asked Human to be available in case you have any specific questions. Suffice to say that we actually went over all these items at the Audit and Risk Committee meeting. I have asked Human to be available because he did, obviously he spoke about some audit recommendations on a particular audit, and then also provided some detailed information to the committee on the 2022 internal staff survey. And not that we have to repeat that here this afternoon, but I wanted to make sure that Human was available in the event that your board had any specific questions. I don't know if you have any comments. I know you attend the audit committee. You're no longer part of the audit committee.
I am.
You still
yeah,
are? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a lively meeting. Human Bocina, the internal auditor, I think does a very good job, very thorough, and as Roberto mentioned, he discussed both the survey as well as his recommendations and observations on the implementation of the past recommendations.
So that concludes my comments, Mr. Chair. Again, staff, Human is not at, he's still not at the Zoom. Is he now? Oh, okay. I just didn't know. Okay, so I was just going to ask if he had any comments, but okay, very well. Well, that concludes the discussion, Mr. Chair.
Okay, we'll receive and file the minutes. Next is governance, and I guess that's me. I do not believe we've had a meeting for some time. I know that we had a meeting, looks like it says scheduled today, but I believe that was canceled.
Correct.
And I guess we'll receive and file the minutes. Disability.
Yes, Mr. Chair, the minutes are there at B and C. Also, Chair Lanza is going to be on vacation, and Trustee Howard Lee was graciously enough to step in. We sure appreciate that, and be March 13th, because we have one of our applicants need some financial help. We want to get involved with that, and that'll be at 12 o'clock. And it's going to be Roberto back at our building on First Street.
Correct, fifth floor.
So if you're listening, we'll be at the retirement building on Fifth Street and on First Street on the floor 5 or 6. What are we? 5.
Fifth floor, what's the room number? And it's at 10 o'clock, right, in the morning?
No, it's 12 o'clock.
This one is 12? Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, we'll receive and file the minutes. Lastly, we got, I think, Andrew for personnel.
Well, actually,
I can go.
Trustee Mellon is the chair.
Yeah, so we are meeting monthly, and we did have a meeting last month, and we have another meeting coming up later this month. Just going over, the salary and the plan to set up an incentive compensation. And we do have the minutes from the special meeting on January 12th to receive and file.
Okay, we'll receive and file the minutes. Any proposed agenda items?
Oh, Mr. Chair, just a comment.
Go ahead.
Through the chair. This last couple of years, or maybe it's been 3, we haven't met, and it was really nice to see everybody today. I want to take the time to thank all our staff. It was a difficult time. It was difficult for the staff, difficult all of us, and all of you folks up here who made adjustments and whatever have you. Remind the board also that when we had the FLSA issue, overpayment, underpayment, now we have this. This board has always been sensitive. They care about the retirement system, but they also care about the police officers and firefighters who give their life. And right now, they need all of us. Thank you so much. And Mr. Chair, you did a great job.
Mr. Chair, I think Trustee Santos reminded me of something, and I apologize for not saying this earlier, but I do want to publicly thank the staff for their work on switching from what was supposed to be a remote meeting to an in-person meeting. I know it took a lot of work from all of you, a lot of meetings, coordinated with the city. I know it wasn't easy at the last minute. And so I do want to publicly thank the staff for your hard work and your efforts on getting this accomplished. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Is there any public comment? Hearing none, this meeting's adjourned.
Thank you.